22 Acacia Avenue, British idiom. What is the meaning of this British idiom? I was watching BBC's Top Gear and the presenters were cracking jokes about people who live in the 22 of the avenues. And that the people who live there like to give nicknames to their home and have specific decoration, stating that they lived in the 22 of the Acacia Avenue. As it is also an Iron Maiden song, and since the band is also British, what is up with this expression? I can't recall in what Top Gear's episode that phrase popped up, but I'm sure it was around the 2008 season. I found this wiki entry to this URL, which is mildly informative. I see that is something linked to the middle class, but I want to know more about the nuances.
I don't think there are any particular nuances involved here beyond typical middle-class address. It's not at all common, even in Britain, but in context most people would understand it even if they'd never heard it before. The earliest such reference to Acacia Avenue I can find is the play by Dennis and Mabel Constanduros, English, called 29 Acacia Avenue. That was the original title when it was made into a film in the US in 1945, but it was actually released there as The Facts of Love. I don't see any reason to assume Brits would have understood that middle-class allusion, but Americans wouldn't. Movie titles are changed for many reasons. Edit. Actually, here's an earlier reference from Mufti, 1919, by H. C. McNeill, aka Sapa. Acacia Avenue doesn't call on Kalman Terrace, you know. Where elsewhere in the book we find Kalman Terrace was not a prepossessing spectacle. A long straight road ran between two rows of small and dreary houses. Each house was exactly the same. I think that context makes it clear Sapa thought of Acacia Avenue as an upmarket address by comparison with Kalman Terrace. People from Acacia Avenue wouldn't make social visits to those in Kalman Terrace.
I've just watched a very boring film made by the British Milk Association in the 1950s, called The Great Milk Bottle Mystery, featuring Mrs. Jones of 22 Acacia Avenue. Acacia Avenue has often been used just to mean the average street, but there must be some source of the specific address, 22 Acacia Avenue. I would guess it was from a popular old radio show, or something like that. This might also explain why Cynthia Payne might have used it, as a kind of not-ending joke.
I was led to believe 22 Acacia Avenue is based on the Cynthia Payne story from the late 70s and early 80s when she was acquitted of being a madam and running a brothel at 32 Ambleside Avenue, in Streatham, London, England. She got punters to pay for services with luncheon voucher coupons, so argued she never provided sex for money. Plus, it's rumored 22 Acacia Avenue was where the special clients were serviced, the judges, MPs, police etc. Again, one very important reason not to convict her. If I had to think of an alternative word that portrayed the tense and context of the innuendo, I think I would choose perfidious. Now listen again to the lyrics of the Iron Maiden song, it'll all become clearer. Source: Wikipedia. Cynthia Payne.
I can only think that this may be an error intended for 29 Acacia Road, which relates to the opening titles of a 1980s kids TV show called Bananaman. It opened with the following voiceover. This is 29 Acacia Road. And this is Eric, the schoolboy who leads an exciting double life. For when Eric eats a banana, an amazing transformation occurs. Eric is Banana Man. For people of a certain generation, it's a nod to their youth.
The reason so many streets were named Acacia Avenue was the between the wars house building boom. Many of the building contractors and many of the councillors and aldermen were Freemasons. Hence the road naming convention of Acacia, which has special significance to Freemasons.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.